Hey guys, welcome back. This will be a timeless tarot card reading, synchronized to find you at the exact right time. Now, your snapshot card is the moon. The moon speaks to things hiding under the surface, oftentimes emotional. You can see this is like a crab or a lobster coming up. It's a crustacean. It's something we're as far from evolutionary as it may be possible to be. I feel like this is kind of like the creepiest thing they could think of at the time. In a modern day context, you might blow this up to be Godzilla or Cthulhu or something. The big, scary, unknown monster coming up from the unknown depths of the sea. But maybe there is some aspect to the fact that it's not a big monster. Maybe you're afraid it would be a big monster, but it's just a little lobster. Now your influence card is the Magician. The Magician is the master of all suits, all weapons and tools. He's the guy. He's not just he's not really the Superman of the deck, but he's because he's not just the guy that does. He's the strategist, the thinker. He's like Nick Fury plus Captain America plus Thor plus Iron Man all in one guy. Now, I generally don't read tarot cards as anything coming from an outside source. Some people, you could read this as, because this is an influence, it's maybe somebody else influencing you, and maybe that rings something with you, rings true in some way. But for me, I always think all the tarot are things that are inside you. This is a part of you that's influencing you. It's like the old cartoons of the angel and the devil, and they're whispering, and this is a part of you that's whispering, and this is the part of you that's the best at all things, your best version of yourself. See, and then you combine these two cards, something's being drawn out of the sea, and it could be the Magician is the thing summoning this monster out of the depth for a reason. Now, your mind is the Seven of Cups. Now, this card is often represented as the card of illusion. Each one of these things is a different emotional trigger, and they all come with their own associations. It's worth noting that these things are all floating in the clouds, in the ether. They may not be real. At their best, they're potentialities. The Magician is stirring up the deep waters. So don't be afraid of those emotions that are bubbling up. They're coming up for a reason. You're calling them up for a reason. And really, you're more afraid of fear than you are any actual consequences. Now, your conscious mind is the Ace of Cups. So once again, both of our mind cards in this reading were the same suit. So this means that your focus is on emotion right now. Now, these cups are fictitious. They're potentials. They're ideas in his head. Thoughts about, But your unconscious mind, though, is representing the Ace of Cups. Now, this is a real emotion. What this represents is a real divinely offered emotion. Now, if we look at the Magician is summoning something from the deep, you're worried about it, but what's actually coming out is not these, snakes and dragons and castles and unknown. What's actually coming out is the holy dove. It's your best, purest, most powerful self. You're looking at something unknown deep inside yourself, and you're worried. It's like a treasure chest that you're going to open up, and it's a trap. A monster's going to come out and get you. But your unconscious mind is letting you know that it's the thing you need. It's the water of the gods. It's the Holy Grail. It's the thing that's going to restoreth your soul. Now, how did you get here? That's the past card, and the past is the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands, you see this guy is pretty banged up. He's pretty wrecked. Now, I always prefer to read this card. The preceding card of this, the Eight of Wands, shows 8 wands flying through the sky to come help out. Essentially, like if you ever watched the original Power Rangers, they would call the power sword, and it would come flying out of nothingness, out of the clouds, and land in front of them. Well, now imagine 8 of those swords, and instead of swords, it's wands. It's magic wands. Now you see this guy is beat up. I like to think the 9th wand is the one wand he was still holding on to. It was like the one bullet he still had left in his gun. All of a sudden he sits down, looks down, and he sees, a bag of 8 more bullets. And if you look at the look behind him, all those wands just showed up out of the sky, and he's kind of confused. He's like, what the heck? It's like in a video game, he was down to 1 HP or 1 MP, and then all of a sudden he got full heal, and now he's healed up again. And you thought you were done. You thought you were down, and then all of a sudden you got the second chance, the second wind, and the thing you're dealing with, though, is, okay, great, I now have all these extra bullets, but your body hasn't been healed yet. You've still been fighting this fight for forever. And now you've got the second wind. You could win, but geez, you've still been fighting for a really long time. Psychologically, you're just like wore out. I'm still beaten down from that last round. And yeah, I've got all these extra bullets now, but I'm still pretty wore out. I'm still pretty achy. And maybe that's why, the magician has realized, it has to summon something deep from within you to marshal these resources. Now, the future card is the Wheel of Fortune. You can read it any way you want. The fact that it's in the future, it could read that fortune will smile on you. I like whenever this card shows up for me, it generally means that, it's going to land in my favor. But it could also be just undecided. You ask a question about the future, and the future card is the Wheel of Fortune. It's kind of like, it's a spin of the, it's a roll of the dice. It's a spin of the dial, man. I kind of read it as like having to do the thing without an assurance that it's going to work out. But the Wheel of Fortune is kind of like, I like you think about the actual like TV show game Wheel of Fortune, or I generally think of the Price of Right, where they spin that giant wheel. Yes, it's a spin of fate, but you're the one spinning it. You control how hard you spin it. You can kind of calculate. You're the one in charge. So it's not so much that it's up to random fate or random chance. It's up to you. You have a part to play in how hard you spin that wheel. Now, what's in your heart right now? Your heart is the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is the preparation card. It's the guy standing there with a globe, like a map. It's also the whole world in his hand. It's also the idea of like the wheel. If the wheel is extended into another dimension, it becomes the globe. Maybe this globe is the wheel. And I generally like to look at correspondences between suits in a reading. So you've got 2 wands so far. Your past is a re-influx of willpower. And it's worth noting that this guy is really beaten up, and this guy is really well dressed, and this guy's in the middle of a fight, and this guy is clearly just chilling at home. And this guy is clinging to the one wand he had and is shocked to find all these extra wands. This guy is casually holding on to the wand that he maybe doesn't even need, and he's got another wand to spare sitting in this bracket. So, but this is your heart, this is your past. It's like maybe in this reading, you're the magician summoning up something from the depth. And what you're trying to summon up is something that can help you win this fight. And, you have the physical resources to do it, but you're worried maybe you don't have the inner stamina to do it. And the heart card is telling you, your heart is unafraid. You're calm. You should be calm. Your inner world is zen. It's at the still point. Your heart is telling you you have the whole world in your hands. Now, how does the world look to you? The world looks like the Queen of Wands. Now, in like a tree of life sense, the queens are the part of gestation. They represent waiting. You start a thing, you wait for the results, and then, you plant the seed. You have to wait for the seed to grow, and then you harvest the seed. The world is telling you that the thing is growing. The thing you've done, the seed you planted is growing. You haven't seen results yet. You haven't seen that baby bump pop out yet, but it's still growing in there. But it's again, the Queen of Wands is all speaking about willpower and wands, and you're the magician in this card. You're in this reading. Magicians famously have magic wands, so this is a reminder that the world wants you to kind of relax. Like, you've done the thing, let it grow for a little while before you start getting nervous. This is letting you know that it's going to take a minute before you see the results of your actions, but the results are coming. Now, the thing you're afraid of is the Knight of Swords. Now, the sword is the mind, and the Knight is kind of like restless energy. The King has focused energy. The King has all the power, strength, and an agency of the Knight, but he also has the Queen's ability to think things through and wait and let things gestate and strategize and plan and direct energy. And the fact that this shows up in your hopes and fears, I read this as, you being worried that your brain isn't going to let you take that waiting period. In your heart, you're the Two of Wands. You have to plant the seed and let it grow. And the world is agreeing with you, let it grow. But you're worried that your brain is going to get the best of you. And you're like, I need to be doing something now. This thing I planted is never going to grow. I need to tear up this field and plant something else while I still have time. But this card, that's what you're afraid of, that your brain is going to become fueled by restless energy, and you're going to tear up the thing that you've put together. You're going to be incapable of letting it grow in its own time. But the overall card, the end result card, is the Lovers. This is a meeting, a connection. It's finding your other self, the other part of you, your left hand, finding your right and getting more accomplished. So if you want to kind of like take this whole thing and put it out as a story, you are the magician calling something out of the deep, because you're in a situation where you were struggling, but now things have sort of turned your way. But the problem is you're still beat up. So you summon something deep, from deep within you. You're afraid it's going to be something that either won't get the job done or will sabotage the job. But your unconscious mind is letting you know that it's not going to be one of these random, it's not going to be the Wheel of Fortune. Each one of these, you spin this wheel, it could be any one of these is what you're afraid of, but your unconscious mind is letting you know that it's going to be this. You plant the seed, you make the plan, you let it grow, and you don't let your mind run away with you. You stick to your plans, and the end result is this card, which, in like the dove with the wings, and like like Pokemon or Digimon, like this is the thing that's going to hatch from your egg. It's this little dove, which doesn't seem like it's going to be very useful, but kind of in the same way that the moon, this thing could be Godzilla or it could be Cthulhu, and it's not. It's just a lobster. It's just a little sea bug. Same way that this thing is going to be this little bird that comes out that looks like it might not be a whole big help to you, but let it grow, let it gestate, and then when it comes out, it'll manifest as this enormous angel with all this power and agency. So think about it. You're the magician summoning up something from the depth, and the thing that's coming up is going to be, the thing it's going to hatch as a little dove. But if you let it grow, it's going to manifest into this enormous angel, with the swinging flaming sword, and it's going to help you win the fight that you're stuck in right now. So just trust you are the magician. You have all the things you need, and you know what you're doing. The only thing you don't have to worry about, the only thing you have to worry about is yourself. You're your own worst enemy. You have to keep your brain from running away with you and making bad decisions, spur of the moment decisions that are going to unravel lots of time, energy, and planning. Let something grow. Don't be so eager to tear it up and start again. But thank you so much for listening, guys. That's going to be it for me today. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye.